Welcome everyone to NoDQ.com's live predictions video for AEW Forbidden Door 2025. We are actually doing a panel predictions video for an AEW event. We were able to get a panel together, and here we are to discuss Forbidden Door, a popular AEW pay-per-view event. They collaborate with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they've been working with Stardom and CMLL. But it's mostly an AEW show, let's face it. Let's go ahead and get everybody's overall thoughts on Forbidden Door. Dwayne, I will start with you. Dwayne, how are you feeling about this show on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you hyped for it? Are you going to buy it? Are you like, nah, I'm good? What are your thoughts on Forbidden Door?
No, I'm going to be working that night, so I ain't going to be able to afford it. But the fact is, compared to the last two Forbidden Doors they've had, I'm probably the least hyped for this one compared to the other two. But this is AEW. They always deliver. I feel like this should be a fairly easy prediction card for AEW of all things. But, you know, Tony Khan's always got a trick up his sleeve or two. So, he's probably going to throw a curveball at us. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. I'll go maybe 7.
All right, well, that's pretty solid. We got a 7 in the chat, and then JJ Williams went with only a 4. Matthew, I know you've been harsh on AEW sometimes. You've been critical. What are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I am critical, but I think, even I will admit their pay-per-views do, usually deliver. I'd say I'm about a 6 out of 10. This is I'm happy for the UK fans. They're getting 2 big pay-per-views back to back. So, that's good for business. I'm just hoping that we do know this is going what is the NXT pay-per-view that's this weekend also?
Heatwave.
I know that's going to be later on in the night. So I'm just hoping Toni doesn't do another 6-7 hour show to counter program Heatwave. But overall, it should be a good show. I do agree with Dwayne. There's a couple predictabilities, and I have a few concerns with some of the matches. But overall, I think it's going to be a good show. And, this is still part of where AEW should be drawing new fans in after, the regime of Moxley has ended, But I'm curious where they're going to go. Is Hangman going to retain, or is he going to have a very short reign? But we'll find out, I guess, here in a little bit.
All right. Thank you for that, Matthew. What do you think, Oof? I know you've been more supportive of AEW than some of the others on the No DQ team. What are your thoughts on this show?
Well, again, like everybody's saying and how everyone's been talking, even in the panels on Tuesdays and all that, shout out to Gino and everybody in the panel on Tuesdays. AEW delivers when it comes to pay-per-views, so I'm not surprised. I don't think anything would be surprising that all the matches will be great. I was probably at 6, and then after Dynamite last night, I'm going to bump it up to a 7 out of 10. I don't know. Last night's show got really going. Some predictions I might change. I'm not sure. I'll just see what everybody else thinks about of the card. But it should be a good one. And like they said, right now Europe's getting spoiled right now. Two big shows from both major companies this weekend and next. So as Big Baller G would say, let's get the ball rolling.
That's right.
Shout out to Big G.
Shout out to the real Big G.
The real Big G.
And we got Papa Gino, a.k.a. Mean Gino, in the chat room. Thanks for moderating, and thank you, JJ, for offering to be on. But I think we're good with the 4 of us, so we don't go too long. We do have 9 matches to discuss, and I do want to dive right into it. I'm looking forward to the show. It is in the afternoon, which is a plus for me. I agree with Lone Star 85 from X that it's generally too long, but when they're earlier in the day, it's easier to digest when you can start the day with some energy and then have a little bit of time afterwards to decompress, go for dinner, whatever. Although for some of us, we'll be checking out the NXT shows as well, so it'll be very busy. But yeah, I'm happy about that. And the London crowd, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be the second biggest crowd for AEW this year after All In Texas. Packed crowd in London should be maybe their best crowd of the entire year and one of their better crowds in quite some time. I'm hyped about that. I think the crowd will really help add to the atmosphere of the show. And with that being said, we'll get right into the card. AEW pretty much a sellout show for them, which is rare these days. Good for them that they packed the crowd in London. London's been hosting All In the past couple of years. Now they got Forbidden Door. Next year they're going to have All In again. So London gets the action, and the crowds usually bring the energy. Let's go ahead and break down this card. We got 9 matches, as I said, so we're going to try to go through these relatively quickly so we're not on here for like 2 hours. That would be very long. That would be getting close to like half the length of an AEW show on average.
That's the pre-show right there, yeah.
Exactly. All right, first up, we have the AEW Women's Championship up for grabs. Timeless Toni Storm going up against the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Athena. I think this will be a really good match. I'm glad that Athena is getting a spot on the card. She's been mostly doing Ring of Honor stuff, but now she's in this storyline with Toni Storm. I don't know what's going to happen after the show, but I think Athena is definitely one of the more misused wrestlers in AEW. I've always liked her going back to Ember Moon, and I'm glad they're putting her in this spot. But having said that, I do not expect her to win this one. I think this will be an easy title defense for Toni Storm. Not easy, but it will be a successful one. Dwayne, I'm going to go right over to you on this one. What do you see happening here?
The only thing that would make this match some more exciting to me if they would make it a title for title. You know, it's time. She's held this title for going on 2.5, 3 years now. Successfully. She's got probably close to 40 title defenses. She's been defending it, and she's a worthy champion. So, yes, it's time to move her up a little bit. But Toni Storm just recently regained the title from Blake Monroe, if you want to call her that. But without this, I don't see nowhere she'd go with it. But I'm saying, yeah, this is going to be Toni Storm out as well. They love Toni Storm in London. So, yes, no title change here. I'm going with Toni Storm to retain.
Sounds good. Matthew, would you agree with that one?
I mean, this is one where I kind of don't want to agree. Yeah. I mean, Athena's on almost a 1,000-day reign with the corpse of the ROH women's title. She's held this thing for 1,000 days. She's beaten everybody there is. For the life of me, I still don't see why she's only now getting time on Dynamite. Did she do something? Did she say something that she was been in this purgatory for so long? And I mean, I love Toni. Toni has proven that she is the best woman AEW has, hands down, and probably one of the best women's wrestlers in the world right now. But if Athena doesn't beat her, who does? She's ran through everybody, unless we're going to get Toni Mercedes 2, which
we might.
I don't know how many people want that. But I'd love to see Athena finally get this moment, but I just don't know because the heels stood tall last night. Now, I think that's not going to affect the other match, the other women's match, but as much as I want to say Athena wins, I think Toni's going to retain. I just don't know what they're going to do with both afterwards because Athena needs this moment. She needs to get out of ROH. She needs to, but I just don't know who she would, if she loses, what they're going to do with her and who will face Toni next because Toni's ran through everybody and they really haven't built up anybody to that level yet again. Unless Hayter finally comes back or Camille finally shows up.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter got hurt, so she's been out of action. I mean, she could always be a contender when she returns. We'll go over now to Oof, what are your thoughts on this one? I mean, I agree with the idea that I would like to see Athena win, but I'm not going to go with that prediction. But are you going to go with a bold one? I mean, JJ is picking Athena. What do you think?
Yeah, Athena is the workhorse of the women's division of ROH, 1,000-day plus champion. It's like when you think of that title, you think of her. But unfortunately, in this situation, I think that's her Achilles heel. If she's cashing in her contract, obviously. But if Athena wasn't the ROH Women's Champion, that I would have put the pennies on her to actually defeat Toni Storm. But I can't see her being both championship holders at the same time. We already got that with Mercedes. She's 8 belts. The 8-belt champion is Mercedes. Now you're going to do a 2-belt champion with Athena. I'm just like you, Aaron. I'm glad that Athena is finally from purgatory of ROH and now is on Dynamite. But if she wasn't ROH Women's Champion, then I would have been like, yes, she's the one to defeat Toni Storm. However, since she does have that belt, I can't see her winning the AEW Women's title and then on a either random ROH show or on a ROH pay-per-view, she loses the ROH Women's title. So unfortunately, yeah, she's killing it in ROH. I wish she would have dropped the title sooner, and this would have probably been a different outcome of mine. But and like we're all saying, I don't know what it is. When I met Toni a couple weeks ago, I congratulated her and I whispered, I'm like, you are killing it with this gimmick, and she gave me a wink. And Toni is just on fire right now. You can't stop her. And like everybody's saying, who is going to defeat her? It's going to be someone. Maybe Alex turns heel in a couple weeks. You know, you do the two baby faces are best friends, they're besties, and then, oh, here comes a turn. Who knows? But I think it'll be a great match. Both women are going to bring it. But timeless Toni Storm will retain her title.
There you have it. I think we all went for Toni to retain. We'll see what happens with this one. Hopefully Athena is continued to be pushed. And there was a comment about Britt Baker. I mean, if they even bring her back at this point, I mean, Britt would be a great choice. Like, why not? But if Britt Baker doesn't show up to feud with Toni, then, or even Mercedes, I don't think she's coming back. We'll see what happens. My gut feeling is she's probably done when her contract is up, but never, right? All right. Next up, we got the TNT Championship up for grabs. We got Kyle Fletcher versus Takahashi in this match. And a couple weeks ago, Kyle Fletcher won the TNT title from Dustin Rhodes and put Dustin on the shelf. He just won the title, and typically when somebody wins the title, they don't lose it right away. And to me, this is one of the easiest matches to predict on the card. I say Fletcher wins this one. It'll be a good match, but I don't really care all that much about it. I'm kind of indifferent to this one. Matthew, I'm going to go over to you. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I agree. And like Ian said there in chat, this is a filler match. I mean, Kyle's not going to lose his... This is what, his first title defense, I think, unless he's second. Yeah, he's not going to lose. Kyle's one of the guys they should be pushing. Both Kyle and Takeshita should be getting pushed as the main event guys. You know, Take's getting more prominent right now in New Japan than he is in AEW. But yeah, Kyle's not going to lose this. I do find it funny that this is Forbidden Door. And I think there's only, 4 or 5 New Japan talent on the entire card. And I think 1 Stardom and 1 or 2 CMLL. It pretty much just feels like an AEW pay-per-view compared to the previous ones. But I'm sure they're probably going to throw all the New Japan guys into the 0-hour matches, which are going to be probably a 10-man and an 8-man battle royal of some sort. But yeah, Fletcher wins.
This is the most Forbidden Door style match on the card, and it's hard to care about it. I'm with JJ on that one. As I've said on other streams, I feel like they should probably just drop the Forbidden Door name at this point. It had a good run for a couple years, but unless New Japan's roster gets bloated and they have some new stars, like I don't feel there's that much appeal to it at this point. Dwayne, what are your thoughts?
My personal feeling is this: we've had 3 forbidden. This is going to be our 3rd Forbidden Door. Not one time has New Japan taken an AEW title back home with them that I know of. I don't think this is going to happen again this year as well. Easy pick for me, Kyle Fletcher.
Yep. Oof, you got a different one for us, and go ahead.
No, I agree with Matthew and Dwayne. Kyle has been killing it for at least a half a year or so with this new persona, the new haircut. Just when we thought that only Bret Hart could rock the pink, he's rocking it as well. He's got the TNT title. He's got Sky Blue. The man is winning in life. So, like we're all saying, this is probably the most Forbidden Door match on the card. And he's the future. Kyle is the future of AEW. Should still be a good match and all that, but he's retaining. Yeah, I don't think any other superstar from another company is going to take an AEW title. So be it. But Kyle's the future. He wins it. Still going to be, should be an entertaining match, but Kyle Fletcher retains the title.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the key guys that Tony Khan is pushing. So yeah, I say there's pretty much no chance that he loses. Highly unlikely in all likelihood that Kyle loses this one. All right, let's move on here. Next up, we have another match. I have to say, I really don't care too much about it. I know I'm going to get the hate from people, but I don't watch New Japan. And you know what? I like Nigel McGuinness and I like Zack Sabre Jr. from what I've seen, but not enough to where I'm really emotionally invested in this match. It just kind of feels thrown together. You know, we got to have a good wrestler for Zack Sabre Jr. to go up against. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent to it. I'm not sure what the storyline is with Daniel Garcia and the graphic. I haven't been watching Collision. I don't care. Not really interested in this one. Again, I'm sure it'll be a good match. That's the running theme here, but I'm not emotionally invested in it. If it wasn't on the show, I wouldn't think anything of it. Like, I could take it or leave it. But yeah, I say Zack Sabre Jr. wins. That'll be New Japan's big win of the evening. Oof, I'll go over to you on this one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, apparently Nigel defeated Daniel and others to get this opportunity, and I think Nigel offered Daniel like to be his corner man in the match for reasons. I don't know. I can't really remember the whole reasoning for it. So good for Nigel. I mean, he's getting to write his own story his own way. We know we barely see him wrestle, but when he does, he brings it. But yeah, again, Zack Sabre is going to retain this. Again, another great match. Will Daniel factor into the decision? Will he not necessarily turn on Nigel, but just show his true colors that like he never liked him in the beginning? Who knows? Should still be good. Nigel brings it when the little times that we see him wrestle. Again, going to be entertainment. A lot of great entertaining match. A lot of flippity doos in the match. I still think it's going to be entertaining and a good match. But we're going to see another championship being retained here.
All right. Thank you for that. Matthew, I'll go over to you next. What are your thoughts?
I mean, same. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to win. Nigel will get another big pop in London.
Yeah.
I don't understand Daniel Garcia. To me, he's like Wheelie. I don't know why he gets pushed as much. What secrets of Tony Khan does he have to be on TV so much? He's bland. He's boring. The dance is stupid. But, you know, for some reason, people like him, but I just don't get it. I could see him either Nigel losing and then him turning on Nigel, and maybe that leads to another match at All Out. But yeah, Zach, this is going to be one of the few matches where New Japan actually wins in the Forbidden Door, pay-per-view.
All right, we'll go over to Dwayne. Go ahead.
Matthew, apparently PWG has seen something in him because he's been their champion for 4 years straight now. So even though I don't think they're doing anything right now personally, but either way, it don't matter. I don't care nothing about any of them. I was surprised the fact that Nigel McGuinness won this, but then realizing that this is in London, it makes more perfect sense. And I would have picked Daniel Garcia to probably win that fatal 4-way. But either way, Zack Sabre Jr. is winning. He's great. Yeah. He's awesome. I'd love to see him come to AEW full time. So,
yeah, he's probably one of the few key guys from New Japan that I think AEW would pick up if they had the opportunity. We'll probably see him there in a year or two, or whenever whenever he's done in New Japan, he'll end up in AEW. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the next match. Moving along here, we got the AEW Unified Championship. We got Okada defending the title against Swerve Strickland. Now, there's reports out there about Strickland not being 100%. He's apparently dealing with an injury that he's been working through. Okada just won the Unified title at Allin, Texas. But Swerve has been pushed very strongly in AEW. But I will say, because of the reports on Swerve and also Okada just becoming the Unified Champion last month, I don't see a title change in this one. Should be a hell of a match, though. I mean, I think this will be one of the best matches of the night. But yeah, I'm going with Okada to retain the title. Dwayne, I'm going to go right over to you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is definitely, I want to say probably the best of the match, but we'll talk about what I think is going to be the best match of the night later. Second best tops it. So, but, you know, what's going to happen with Swerve after this match? You know, it makes me wonder. So I can't help but like again, Okada just won this title, so I don't see a title change happening. So I'm going to go agree with you. Okada wins this match.
Yeah, so far I feel like we're all agreeing on these matches. Oof, what's your prediction? Who's going to be the one to break the streak? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, like you mentioned, Aaron, not yesterday on Dynamite, but last week's Dynamite when Renee was interviewing Swerve, like an RKO out of nowhere, he's got a busted knee. Okay, that literally came out of nowhere, news to me, and so maybe that's the out for the match. That's the out for the outcome of the match. That maybe Okada focuses on the knee. Swerve is going to do his, the fighter, like he won't give up. He'll be the wrestler that refuses to tap out. But in the end, that'll be the escape for him to lose this match. And yeah, I'm also predicting another champion retaining his title. He just got the title. Swerve, he'll be fine. I mean, Swerve is on fire. He's one of the best fan favorites that AEW's got. He'll be okay. But again, once that they introduced that knee injury, again, legit or not, whatever, I was like, okay, maybe there's the out for him to lose. And so, yeah, we will see another title be retained as well. But it'll be a very fun match between the two of them.
All right, thank you for that, Oof. And Matthew, will go over to you. What do you think?
Well, I am curious about something because of spoilers for Collision. The Bucks and Okada beat down Swerve. So, usually the babyface beaten down, the champs holding up, sometimes could lead to a title change.
Yes, but yeah, let me just add to that. If a tree falls in the woods and it doesn't make a sound, did it really fall down?
That is true. But it's this knee injury thing, and this is my big concern with all of Forbidden Door. You've got Nick Wayne out for injury, supposedly Ospreay. People are still wondering, is Ospreay neck injury legit or not? If it is, he's crazy for going into a cage match, and now Swerve is hurt. Swerve and Ospreay are two of your biggest stars that should be in the main event. And if they're both injured, that's really going to hurt AEW. But, I mean, I'm kind of torn because I like the Athena match. I want Swerve to win. Okada is boring in AEW. I don't know. He's not the Okada we saw against Bryan Danielson a couple years ago. He phones it in. He acts like a clown. He acts like he's the new Micah Nakazawa to the Young Bucks. He's their new Brandon Cutlet. He just sits there and does goofy stuff and says the word, the B word, and then that's it. And then most of his matches don't even look as exciting as they used to, except for, the Omega match that they just had. So I'm torn because I really want Swerve to win it because Swerve would actually add something to this belt. And I just don't see what they'll do with Swerve if he loses or who's going to beat Okada. But I guess I'm probably going to go with the rest of the panel and say Okada wins. But my heart wants Swerve to win.
All right, fair enough. Yes, Oof.
Who beats Okada? Takeshita. Remember that.
Yeah, maybe if he's okay. I'm not sure where he's at right now.
Well, he's doing he did the G1, so
okay.
He just won the
He
G1.
Spoiler alert, he won the G1.
I think so. He might be the one that beat Zack Sabre Jr.
All right, we'll move on here to the next match. We got a tag team match. Holla, holla, holla. We got the return of ENC, or Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Cope and Cage teaming up against Kip Sabian and Killswitch, or Luchasaurus, whatever you want to call him. Luchasaurus returned and is taking the place of the injured Nick Wayne. To me, this will be a fun match just for the fact that we are getting Cope and Christian back together. But I think that this is just getting them reestablished. We got All Out coming out in Toronto, and I expect them to have a big match there. So pretty safe to say. I mean, actually, I think this one's the easiest match to predict of the entire show. Cope and Christian win. I would say there's pretty much zero chance of Kip Sabian and Killswitch winning this one. Cope and Christian pick up the victory. Matthew, what's your prediction?
I'm excited for this match because Edge has always been one of my favorites. I may not be a huge fan of the whole Cope nickname, but I want to see Edge and Christian back together. It's been way too long. But yeah, I'm a little concerned because, it doesn't feel right if Christian doesn't beat Nick Wayne in this. And I think Luchasaurus needs to be, I'm glad he's finally back after a year and a half of being gone, but I think he needs to be made into a babyface. He got a big reaction last night that shows he needs to, whatever is between him and Christian needs to be put aside. But yeah, also you would be insane to have Christian and Copeland lose their first match back together.
Yep.
That would be utter insanity. But yeah, Kip's gonna eat the pin, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Luchasaurus after this. I want to see him go babyface. Finally get a proper babyface run without Jungle Boy, without Marco Stunt, because he's a big guy, so that's the concern too. But yeah, Edge and Copeland and Christian win. The crowd's going to be happy. They'll probably hug it out, and Christian will still be our asshole.
There you go. Dwayne, would you agree with that? We're all agreeing. I mean, this show seems to be unanimously predictable. But Dwayne, what are your thoughts?
I said this should be a fairly easy show to predict, but my question is this. I saw the clip where he came back last night. Did he come back as Luchasaurus or Killswitch? Because I can't remember what Tony Schiavone called him as.
I guess he's Killswitch.
Is he still Killswitch?
The commentators did say Luchasaurus. So
yeah, I thought it was Luchasaurus as well. So I don't know. But I like what Matthew said, because that's kind of like where I'm going with it. I think Luchasaurus is going to be how this match ends. I think he's going to wind up turning on Kip Sabian and siding with Christian Cage. He's probably going to try to play his little fatherly mind games like he has before, and he's going to fall for it as well. But yeah, it's still Edge and Christian. Lord have mercy, help me. Cope and Christian is definitely winning this match, by hook or by crook, however you want to call it. But I still think we're going to get a face turn from Luchasaurus in this match as well. So
maybe we get a reunion of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Maybe Jack Perry goes back to the Jungle Boy gimmick.
I hope not.
Back to the drawing board for him. Well, I don't know what else they do with those guys, but Oof, what are your thoughts on this match?
Oh, funny you should say that. First of all, I too am happy that Killswitch is back. Glad that his health is 100, as I'm guessing is 100% because he's back now. But funny you mentioned that, Aaron. I saw a lot of chitter chatter in the IWC that they're saying that the guy in that video before Killswitch came out, that video of that guy that injected him with whatever the hell that was, people were saying it kind of looked like Perry. I don't know. I remember seeing the video, but it didn't hit me on that. So who knows? Maybe Jack does come back. But clearly this match should have been Christian Cage versus Nick Wayne to end the storyline, but apparently he got injured on his foot a week ago. I went back to see the clip, and I'm like, okay, so is this a real injury or not? Who knows? Will he try to factor in the outcome of this match? I don't know, but this should end Christian Cage versus the, I guess, former patriarchy. This should put a final nail in the coffin, unless they do a match on a random Dynamite where it is finally Christian versus Nick Wayne, and yes, Christian gets the win over it. But like we're all saying, yeah, to Team CC wins this, which will lead into a match that we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes, which is hyping for their next pay-per-view. And again, the reunion was sped up. I would have suspect the reunion would have happened starting at this show. Again, have it Christian Cage versus Nick Wayne. Again, Christian gets the win over Nick Wayne. Patriarchy attacks. Here comes Cope to save the day, and then you start for the next pay-per-view in Toronto, which we'll talk about another match on this card as well. But they sped it up a little bit. I guess Tony wanted the best card he can get. That London crowd is going to be on fire. They're going to sing Cope's song, which is always awesome to see and hear. But yeah, Team CC gets the win, and I'll mention them again when we talk about another match we're going to talk about here in a few seconds, probably.
All right. Thank you for that. Oof. And now we move on to we got one more match that I'm kind of meh about. I think Matthew would agree with me on this one. You probably know which one I'm talking about here. We got the four-way match for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné, the belt collector. She's got 8 titles or something like that. She's defending the TBS title against from CMLL. How do we pronounce her name? Anybody know?
I think it's Persephone.
Okay, that sounds
something like that. Persephone, yeah. It's not
like
Persephone,
like New Jersey. Parsippany.
Shout out Jersey.
Yes, shout out to Jersey. And then we got Bozilla. Okay. Bozilla is her name from Stardom. And then we got Alex Windsor from AEW. All right. Yeah, I again, running theme of the night. I think it'll be a good match, but I don't have any emotional investment in this whatsoever. I mean, I'm indifferent. If it wasn't on the card, I wouldn't lose a minute of sleep. Dwayne, what are your thoughts on this one?
This is going to be the match that probably I differ from everybody else.
Oh, you're going with Bozilla.
One possible title change, and this is the one I was thinking of because I'm going Alex Windsor to win this one. Ever since this match happens, Mercedes Moné has been getting the better of her. She's a great wrestler. I have seen her clips on YouTube. So this is a match where I think Mercedes can lose the match, lose the title, and not get pinned and still look strong in the end, because it's time for her to start, losing some titles. And it's usually when you lose one big one, the smaller ones kind of start falling behind them. Look at FTR a couple years ago when they had theirs. So that's how I feel it's going to be. I feel like we're going to get a new TBS Women's Champion on this one.
All right. Well, you might be right. We might be going with different picks unless all of us are thinking the same way. Oofman, don't let us down. Go with Alex Windsor to win the TBS title. Go ahead.
I would go with Alex if she was established a little bit longer than she is right now. I mean, she's great. She's a great worker. I like what I see. However, we are about less than 2 months away for Mercedes breaking Jade's TBS title record reign. So I would be shocked if Tony pulls the plug on that. I think he would like Mercedes to finally conquer that. And then, like Dwayne said, then she can start losing some belts and obviously the TBS title as well. So if she wasn't less than 2 months away from taking that title from Jade, I would say, sure, new champion, but they're getting very close. And again, say what you will about Jade leaving AEW. Who knows what the true story is. I just feel that Tony Khan has noticed that. And it's like, all right, I think it's like somewhere in mid-October, early teens of October, she will conquer that new record. So since it's that close, maybe at World's End or maybe at my show at Full Gear in Jersey. Who knows where Mercedes actually drops it? But with it being that close, still going to be a good match. And again, if Alex was maybe in the company like maybe 6 more months added to whatever time she's been in the company now, then I'd be like, sure, shocker in London, a new champion. But because of that fact of less than 2 months to go for Mercedes to be the longest TBS champion, Mercedes will retain. Still should be a fun match with the 4 ladies there, but Mercedes Moné will still be the 8-belt champion. And
All right.
TBS champion, of course. So.
Wait a minute. Dwayne about to change his pick. Dwayne?
Yes, I am. Can y'all hear me, by the way? I can't.
You going with Bozilla?
Yeah, Bozilla, exactly. That's exactly what I'm going for. I was under the impression that Monet had already beaten that record when I made this pick. So with that being said, then I stand corrected that I'm going to stay with Mercedes, because I already figured that's what Tony was going with when he gave her the title to beat Jade's record. So then, yes, I'm going to go with Tony Storm.
Oh, wow.
Mercedes is going to retain the title on this one.
All right, Mercedes Moné to retain, and I'm going with Mercedes as well. It's hard to bet against Mercedes Moné, who does not have creative control, because the internet says that it's true that she doesn't, so it must be. Matthew, it's up to you now. You could be the one that goes against us and not pick Mercedes. Go ahead.
As much as it makes me puke, lol, Mercedes wins. And what's worse is apparently she has a 9th belt that she could be going after this weekend before Forbidden Door. So she'll have even more gold probably. And it's another 4-way, I've heard. But it is funny that, Bozilla, I've heard good things about, but she didn't even get a promo package or appeared on Dynamite. So it's like, here's your 4th opponent who's probably going to be the one to take the pin, because no one knows anything about her. At least the other person, Persephone, at least was at the show. But Alex Windsor, I want to like her, but they haven't really done much with her except the fact that she sounds like a Pokemon. Because every time she comes out, she goes, Windsor! She does a move, Windsor! It's like, are you a Pokemon or are you a person? And then her theme is complete Death Rebel. It says her name, and then you hear a guitar theme. And I do wonder how much, I don't want to be mean, but how much of her push is because she is Mrs. Will Ospreay. But, that's another thing. But, yeah, Mercedes, lol, is going to win. But, yeah, she doesn't have creative control. But she just really has very strong booking.
Yeah, she is knowing how to play the game. She knows what she's doing. She's a pro. All right, guys, we got 3 matches left to talk about here. We're winding this down. We're getting to the nitty gritty, as Gorilla Monsoon would say. We got another 3-way. We had a 3-way the other month for the AEW tag team titles. We got another one. We got the Hurt Syndicate. They like to hurt people, in case you didn't know. They're defending against FTR and Bandito and Brody King. So another 3-way match for the tag titles, and it's interesting the timing of this with all the reports about Hurt Syndicate and what's going on with them behind the scenes. What's happening here? Are they not wanting to put over FTR, and all of a sudden a 3rd team is added to the match? I could see, I wonder if we'll disagree on this one. I could see FTR winning the titles here by beating Bandito and Brody King. So that way, Hurt Syndicate doesn't take the fall. FTR defending the titles against Cope and Christian seems like a logical match to do for All Out in Toronto. That's my take on it. I'm going to say we get new champions, and they will be FTR. Oof, we'll go to you now.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Mr. Rift. Yeah, going back to what I mentioned earlier with Team CC winning their match. You heard Christian say it, that he's there to help Edge with his FTR problem while, Cope. And Cope is asking Christian's help for his, they're helping each other out with their own problems. So they'll get the win. it became a triple threat match. So the Hurt Syndicate don't technically lose they won't get pinned. They still will lose the championships. And yes, I believe FTR will win the tag titles here. We'll get the ball rolling for All Out Toronto, where what someone else mentioned in the chat room there on YouTube, what Tony Khan wanted with the Hardys, I believe he is going to get with Copen and Christian, where those men will hold tag titles in his company. I know he wanted to see Jeff and Matt with the tag titles in his company, but for reasons didn't happen. But he will get Copeland and Christian as tag champs in AEW. So yes, I'm with you, Aaron. FTR will win the tag belts. They will pin one of the guys from probably Brody, because he's the big guy there. So yeah, new tag champions for at the end of this match, FTR.
All right, there you have it. Matthew, we'll go to you next.
I mean, it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, this does put into question the whole, did Hurt Syndicate not want to put FTR over? Because why would you suddenly make it a triple threat? And I do wonder, what do you do with the Hurt Syndicate after this? Are they going to start going for singles gold, maybe? I do wish they had a better run, because they just have this look. They have this dominant tag team aura to them, and they've had a couple of matches as champions, and most of them have been triple threats or something like that. It's felt very lackluster, but yeah, like Uthman says, that's pretty much my prediction too. FTR wins. This is going to make them a fourth, or are they going to be the first 5-time tag champions? 5-time. But yeah, they're going to have a very short reign. Copeland and Christian will beat them. They'll have probably a short reign, and then I don't know how long their contracts are going to be up. But I definitely see Tony giving them a Sting moment where they can hold the titles probably until they're ready to leave the company or whatever. But yeah, it's either going to be Brody or Bandito eating the pin. I just wonder what you're going to do with Hurt Syndicate after, but I think that could lead into the world title match as well. But yeah, we're going to get new champions, FTR.
All right, there you have it. We keep agreeing. We cannot disagree on anything tonight. But we got 2 matches left to potentially disagree on something. So let's talk about these are the 2 matches I'm looking forward to the most. To me, these are the matches that are carrying the show. We got the lights out steel cage match, Death Riders, Gabe Kidd, and the Young Bucks. Rod and Todd Flanders, as Matthew likes to say. Apparently they use the name Rod and Todd on Collision. I think that's a spoiler, but yeah, I think that's funny that they're doing that. Didn't they must have said that like a year or 2 ago. Matthew, when it's your turn, you can mention that if you remember. We got the Death Riders team going up against Will Ospreay's team with Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and the Golden Lovers. Kenny Omega's back. We got Ibushi in there. Should be a spectacle. The thing is, though, it's one cage. It's essentially blood and guts with one cage. And now there's reports of Will Ospreay being hurt, and he needs neck surgery possibly. So yeah, it seems a little crazy that Will Ospreay's doing this match if he's legitimately hurt. Why would you put him in there? But yeah, with 10 guys, I expect it to be pure carnage in one ring. It is going to be absolutely chaotic. And you know what? You know what you're getting. You know what to expect with this one. And the fans that want to see this will buy the pay-per-view for it. And if it's not your thing, you're not going to be buying the pay-per-view. But for what it is, I expect pure carnage. And knowing AEW's track record, we are going to get nothing less than absolute pure carnage. Lots of blood, lots of violence. You sick F. You know they're going to be chanting that at Moxley. He's going to be scratching people's backs. They're probably going to do the super kick with thumbtacks in the mouth. But what can they do to top that stuff? Somebody going to jump off the cage with 10 people waiting down below to catch him? Is Ospreay going to do like a flying 450 and then everybody's catching him on the ground? Are 3 people going to jump off the cage? How can they top other cage matches that they've done? Are they going to break the cage wall with like 10 guys flying through the cage? Like, what the hell are they going to do here to top some of these ultra violent matches? And yes, the odds of Moxley bleeding, I think, are highly likely in all likelihood. Now, I'm a little bit torn on this one. I think this is one of the few matches that could go either way, which is why I'm thinking we may finally disagree. So, Matthew, we'll start with you on this one. What are your thoughts on this lights out steel cage match, unsanctioned, uncensored? What are your thoughts?
Well, like you said, this is pretty much blood and guts in all but name in a one cage. It's going to be a complete cluster fluck.
Yes.
And I'm worried about this match because if Ospreay if his neck is that bad, how hard is he going to go? Because, he's going to want those extra yummy stars from Daddy Meltzer. So, is he going to do something stupid off the cage? Either he's going to do something stupid off the cage or Darby is, or they both are going to. It's going to be multiple run-ins because look at all the people that showed up last night. We had the rest of the Dork Riders. We had Gabe Kidd's group. We had other people showing up. So it's like, who's all going to get involved? And yeah, like you said, how are they going to top it? Is somebody going to get shot in the head and kicked out at 2? What is there left to do for a Darby Allin or Moxley match that is going to be utter chaos? But I don't see the baby faces losing. There's no way. I don't see them having Darby lose his first match back or Will losing at home, injured or not. I just, if the baby faces win, where does this go from here? Are they then going to do blood and guts, at All Out? I don't know. And then I think Gabe Kidd was supposedly injured, which is why he wasn't in. I think he was supposed to be in the G1 or something, and they took him out. So how bad is he injured? How big of bumps is Kenny going to be able to take? How big of bumps are Ibushi going to take? Because both of them are still recovering from their big injuries. So it's going to be a chaotic match, but I'm worried more about the actual wrestlers because a lot of them going into this aren't 100%. But yeah, I see the baby faces retaining. I know the heels kind of stood. The baby faces kind of stood. Well, really, nobody really stood tall. The baby faces kind of stood tall Monday. So, but yeah, I don't see Darby losing his first match or Will losing in UK. It's like saying Sami Zayn is going to lose in Saudi. It's not going to happen.
All right, there you have it from Matthew. Now, Jon Moxley did lose at All In Texas. Young Bucks did lose in All In Texas. Just wanted to throw that out there. That's why I feel like this one could go either way, because I think there are solid arguments for both. Oof, we'll go over to you next with your thoughts.
Yeah, this match has a lot of more questions than answers. Just to jump on your billion questions, Aaron. My curiosity is, all right, it's a steel cage match, but what does that mean? Will it be a standard steel cage where, it's on the ring? Okay. Will it be maybe like almost like a Hell in a Cell type cage where it's on the apron and there's space between the cage and the ring? Because we all know Darby is climbing that ring and he's going to do the coffin dive into somebody or something. We all know that. I don't know about Will doing that, but the needle's more on Darby doing it. So that's what I would like to know. Is it because if it's a standard cage, that's going to be hell. Because 10 guys in there doing all the flippity flues and all the craziness that we are all predicting as definitely is guaranteed, that'll be very, very tight in there. So if they put the cage on the actual floor of the arena, all right, you got a little more space there. So that's what I'm actually going to be looking forward to in this match. When the cage comes down, where is it going to land? On the ring apron or on the actual floor? And yes, this will be the cluster match of the night. This is the match that'll give Jim Cornette an aneurysm. I can't wait to hear his opinion after this match. And so, yeah, after last night, I too was like, all right, on another predictions, I was like, definitely the baby faces. Last night, I was a little turned around, like maybe no. But like Matt said, Darby's first match in a long time, Will in the UK, really kind of hard to pick against the baby faces. I saw somebody in the chat room say, will Moxley bleed? Well, is the earth round? There you go. How far into the match? Yeah, we'll see the bedwood nails. We'll see the thumbtacks, the shoe with it. We're going to see it all, like we're saying. What, like you said, what can they top from other crazy non-sanctioned matches? Who knows? Maybe the kitchen sink does come into this. Who knows? But this is the match that everyone will be going crazy over because we're going to get, it's the video game match as they call it. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to say the baby faces win. What happens afterwards? Well, maybe finally we do see the demise of the Death Riders. Maybe Moxley finally does take his vacation that he's allegedly owed from saving the company many years ago. Maybe, again, yeah, the Death Riders disband. The babyface will be fine. Maybe everybody who is hurt goes to heel, and we don't see them till maybe like mid-month before All Out. So yeah, I'm going with the baby faces winning this. It will be a cluster, but we're all sick freaks, I guess. So.
All right, so there you go. 2 for the babyface team. Dwayne, the pressure's on now. This is your chance to go against everybody and break the streak. Go ahead.
Boy, everybody sure is pleading a good case tonight. You want a bold prediction on this match?
He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
I think this cage match is going to turn to anarchy in the arena. I think they're going to bust the cage down wide open. There's, 10, 12 guys in this match? You know, that ain't going to hold up. That cage ain't going to hold up for those people whatsoever. It's going to turn into a clusterfuck, so to speak. Pardon my language. But you can't predict it because you don't know what's going to happen, who's going to do what, who's going to show up, you know. On paper, it looks good. You think, you know, the babyface is going to win. They're in London, but the Death Riders are going to disband, but we don't really know what's going to happen after that. But, you know, just to be a little stick in the mud, I'm going to say the Death Riders pull this one off. This is probably where possibly Ospreay does his little injury angle and has to go home and have surgery. Who knows? I'm just going to make it more interesting. The heels win this one.
There you have it. The streak is over. I'm glad you went though, because I'm going with Dwayne as well. I'm going to say the Death Riders win. As much as that pains me inside, because I'm tired of the Death Riders, but with the reports about Ospreay, I know it's London and everything, but he seems to be the kind of guy that wants to do what's right for business. And if he's leaving for a while, he'll probably push to lose. So I'm going to say the bad guys win this one. Moxley lost it all in Texas. Young Bucks lost it all in Texas. And yeah, pains me deeply, but I agree with Dwayne. So we're split 50-50 on that one. And I think we will see the bad guys pull off the victory here. Maybe they'll do another match at some point down the line. But Darby's got to be on the chase, I think, with Moxley. You know, if they're going to have a singles match, I think the bad guys need to win so Darby can try to get his revenge. Anyways, we got one match left to discuss. We got the world title up for grabs. Hangman Adam Page defending against MJF. And in this match, MJF can win the title by DQ. He can win the title by count out, which means Adam Page is going to beat the count at 9.9. And MJF does not have to use his not money in the bank contract. He can lose this match and then chit in at a... All right, so what do you guys think is going to happen for this main event? Should be a hell of a match with these guys. Page just won it at All in Texas, though, so is he really going to lose it this quickly? I had mentioned on my stream, what if Page wins the match and then MJF cashes in on him immediately after? But for the match itself, who do you think is going to win? Dwayne, I'm going to go right back over to you on this one.
I'm not sure on this one, Aaron, so I kind of want to hear what everybody else has to say.
All right, that's
I'm
fair
really
enough.
torn on
Oof.
this one, so.
I'll go over to you then.
Well, before yesterday, I was still confused on who would win, and kind of still there now. It's interesting how now we have the new steps in the match, count out, DQ, all that jazz. The title can change. But again, like you said, Aaron, Paige just won the title. I get it. You always want to see a babyface chase the title and then get it, and then we have that happy moment. But we kind of already saw that with Paige, and he conquered we got the Avengers ending for AEW, where he conquered the Death Riders, and we had the moment already. So to take the title off of him this quickly, for him to chase again, just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
But welcome to wrestling. I'm using logic in an illogical situation.
Yep.
Now with MJF, the questions for him: will the Hurt Syndicate come out and assist him? Was the breakup all a rouge? But on the other hand, he's got beef with Briscoe. He's got beef with Hikuleo. Will they come out? So many factors in this match. It could go either way. And yeah, now that he doesn't have to cash in his contract for the official match, he's got literally in his back pocket. And so it kind of went with what I was saying earlier. You have two people you had two people cashing in their contracts. Now you only have one. But the thing is, again, I picked Toni retaining and beating Athena. I'm gonna go with Paige retaining, but then the question is, will MJF use his contract then, and then will he lose again? I think I'm gonna go with no. I say he just gets beaten, and maybe on a random Dynamite to hype up All Out, we have their match where he cashes in, or maybe we see the cash in at All Out. You just save it for that pay-per-view or Full Gear. I don't know, but I think the cash in will happen later. I see Paige winning, and he'll he'll keep his eye on MJF if he does try to cash in. But then again, does MJF try to cash in, and then again, does Briscoe ruin that? So there's so many variable factors in this match. But overall prediction: Paige retains the title in the official title match.
I agree with you on that. Whether MJF cashes in afterwards, I think he will in fact lose this match. It is Paige's first defense. I don't see him, or no, not first defense, because he did beat Moxley in a rematch. But still, I think Paige retains here. MJF holds on to his contract, and he'll save it for a little bit. But I wouldn't have a problem with MJF cashing in after he loses and wins the title. I'd be fine with that. But I think Paige will win the actual match, and then whatever happens after that, who knows? Matthew, we'll go to you next, and then we'll wrap it up with Dwayne.
I see, like you guys, I agree. I don't see Hangman losing his first pay-per-view defense. I'm curious how I think Lashley could get involved, but with the no DQ stipulation, how do they do it? Does Lashley take out Hangman? Thus, that way, Hangman. Technically that would still mean Hangman would retain the title, wouldn't it? Because Moxley or MJF would technically get DQ. See, with the DQ thing, I'm not quite sure how it would all work, but I think Lashley will somehow get involved to where Hangman retains, because I think that's going to probably lead to maybe Lashley versus Hangman, and then Tony Khan attempts to do his own heist of the century by having MJF screw over both Hangman and Lashley at a later pay-per-view. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm mostly, fantasy booking here, making guesses. But yeah, I think Hangman's gonna win, and it's going to lead to another cash-in later. And like you said, I don't know if it involves Briscoe, if it involves Lashley. I think Lashley could get involved, or at least tease something, because I think that should be the next story if MJF doesn't win, is we finally need to finish up, give the whole Hurt Syndicate MJF story some actual conclusion. Don't leave it like they did Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. But yeah, Hangman wins. I'm just not quite sure how he's winning. But yeah, Hangman wins, and I don't think we're going to get the cash in yet.
All right, there you have it. All right, so now we'll go over to Dwayne. We'll wrap it up with you, Dwayne.
This is why I want to go last, because I had questions and I had doubts on how this match is perceived. Matthew and Uthman both kind of touched on both of them. What got me was you lose the title on DQs and countouts, right? But does that work for Page's side as well? If he of course, naturally, I guess he's going to say he's going to keep the title if MJF gets disqualified, however. But the Hurt Syndicate's kind of what got me wondering how this is going to go, because for the fact being, we already see it. There's going to be a feud somewhere down the line with MJF and Bobby Lashley. And it makes me wonder if they're going to get involved and possibly MJF provokes Bobby Lashley and he attacks him, causing Page to lose the title. But, this match has more what ifs or what coulds than anything about it. So I'm just going to say the safe bet is what everybody else is saying. This is his second title defense. Page ain't losing just yet. They're saving for that cash in somewhere down the line. Somewhere we probably ain't going to see it or suspect it as well. So, Adam Page is walking out champion.
All right, there you have it. So other than the not blood and guts match, we agreed on every single match on the show. There you have it. Forbidden Door, hopefully they'll have a few curveballs for us and they'll surprise us with a few things. Let's go ahead and do our plugs before we sign off for the night. Dwayne, I'll go right to you. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
Once again, I have nothing to plug. Just I'll see you guys hopefully in the next prediction, possibly Clash and Castle. If not, I'll see you guys somewhere down the line. Something I love to do. Talk and predict wrestling and PLEs is something that I will never pass up. Once again, Matthew, Aaron, thanks again for having me. Can't wait to do it again, guys.
All right. Thank you for that. Much appreciated, Dwayne. Love to have you on. Matthew, I'll go over to you now. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
I mean, nothing myself, the routine. Check out No DQ, buy a shirt. Check out Uthman's channel. Check out Gino's channel. Check out JJ and Noah and Walter's channels as well. And of course, thank you for just letting me be part of the No DQ family. I love that we all have mixed opinions sometimes. We have agreeing opinions. And, I look forward to the show. I look forward to the next panel. And, it's always a good time and I appreciate it.
We appreciate you, Matthew. Thank you. And Oof, you're the only one with an actual graphic here. So go ahead and tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, once again, Aaron, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Check out my channel, Oof Man Entertainment, my series, Gabbing with Oof. I've been on doing other people's, showing up on other people's channels, which is an honor. So no new one has been up, but there will be one soon. I will be gabbing and ranting a little bit about WWE's continued pettiness on AEW with all the new signings of the apps, the rest of Palooza now. So that'll be the next topic on my series, Gabbing with Oof. So check it out right there, youtube.com, Oofman Entertainment. And again, Matthew, Dwayne, Aaron, once again, thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to doing another one, maybe Clash in Paris next week or just for All Out next month. But it's always an honor. It's always fun.
All right. We love you, Oof. Thank you for that. And take care, everybody. Have a great night. NoDQ.com will have live coverage of Forbidden Door this Sunday. And we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt. We'll see you next time.